It's your call with John Penny and Dwayne Long.
It's my call today first.
Okay, your call. Go ahead.
All right. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to talk about the preseason of football.
Yeah, the preseason. This is the third week of preseason, and so next week will actually be the first game. No, it'll be the first games of the season.
What?
Yeah, it's the first game.
No, well, that's not true because they didn't play. Yesterday, did they play pro football or exhibition games?
No. This is going to be the first game of the season. Don't try to confuse me, you big muffin top you are.
Hey, I went to a place today to get a muffin for breakfast.
Oh gosh.
I'm not going to say their name.
Oh, thank you.
I want you to know something. The muffin was so small, it's the kind you give out on Halloween.
Oh,
I mean,
Lord.
it was a terrible muffin.
We're not going to say anything about that place.
No. Okay.
Although you are a brave man. If they can't hear you, they can see you.
That's right.
You're coming. Hey, but preseason football, third week, we're ready for the real games now.
Well, I'm ready. I've been ready since baseball. I wanted football to come in here real fast, and I think it's important to have preseason games. Last year, a lot of players got injured, especially knee injuries for a while. It seemed like they weren't really in shape yet.
Well, I mean, why weren't they in shape? They had the whole off season to get in shape. That's why they have those OTAs earlier in the year.
Yeah,
and then they come to preseason and they just want to sit around and not do anything except let's toss the ball.
Football is a tough sport. It's I put it up there with boxing.
Then get ready for it.
You can't do that for the whole year. You can't get yourself in shape for a whole year. Who plays a whole year in a sport? Well, what's the longest season?
Probably baseball season.
That's right. And they say baseball is a very easy game. Now, it's a very hard game to play, but physically, it's one of the easier games to play.
How long did it take for you to train?
For a fight, I would train at least a month and a half if I had to. If it was a 12-round fight, and I had 3 of those, so I trained. And it was hard. I mean, you start out not training really hard. You train and then you build yourself up, and then the last week you start easing off. So when you hit that ring, you're ready.
So when did you start running?
Oh, I'd run like the first or second week I'd run, but I would run short distances and not very hard at all. Then I would build it up to 3 or 4 miles running. That'd be toward the end of it. And then I would go back to running like maybe a quarter mile and just let my body relax itself. It's in such great shape. I'm ready to go.
Okay. So when the players show up for OTAs, if they show up for OTAs,
right.
And then they've got a little bit of a break.
What are you going to teach? I believe, what are you going to teach Tom Brady in
OTA?
It's to learn stuff for most of the players. You're not going to teach Tom Brady. You're not going to teach Ben Roethlisberger or anything.
No, but he can teach others. He can help get his new players acclimated to being a professional football player. The same thing with the off season. The constant reps that they get helps them to be ready for the main game, which is coming up this next week.
Okay.
Why? So why can't they be prepared and ready to play?
Okay, because they have to get ready for themselves to play. I mean, it's not like you're a professional quarterback that haven't got anything to learn. You got to learn all the plays they want you to start the game with, the plays they want you to end the games with, and in between, figure out what you're going to be doing at the end.
Well, I just want to know is if preseason has some value. Does it have value?
Oh, I think it has value. I think you get in shape or better shape. You train hard. Also, the injuries. I think the better shape you're in, the more flexible, the more you work. And I think flexibility now is a huge part of all training for athletes. It's about getting those arms loose, the legs loose. And I mean, I pulled hamstring muscle in tennis one time. I went down like I got shot. I mean, I was down and it hurt so bad. And I was afraid to get up. I mean, I really was afraid to get up because I thought I'm not going to be able to walk. And I was out of tennis for like 3 or 4 weeks and had to go to the doctor and get some stuff done. And
Well, I remember a time when you got hit by a dodgeball and it knocked you into some bleachers, and,
yeah.
and that knocked you down.
Well, that broke my collarbone.
And a bunch of Boys Club boys were coming over, giving you the 10 count.
Yeah, it was, as they sure were. And it hurt, boy. Oh, I broke my collarbone and hit my head on the bleachers. They were bleachers that were like put up against the wall.
Yeah, they were wooden bleachers, yeah.
So that was rough. But I think football is probably as tough a sport as you get in any professional sport.
And that's why I think they ought to use preseason to really prepare you for the toughness that it's going to take to get ready for the main regular football season. And this year they're playing 17 games
right.
as opposed to
and there a couple of players are not really happy about that. And the main thing, you have to be able to not get hurt. I think they get in shape to not get hurt. I mean, every play, the offensive line smashes into each other. I mean, they bang each other with helmet to helmet. They're not supposed to, but it does. It's just one of those natural things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a rough sport. And I know boxing is really tough. And believe me, I know boxing is tough. And other sports. But to me, pro football would be the toughest sport of all.
And I think you're right. I think it is the toughest sport because you are cracking heads almost every play. You're on that front line. But I know the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be ready to play the Cleveland Browns on the first game of the season. And I think it's a Thursday night game. I'm not sure if it's a Thursday night game. But I know those two teams, and I've been watching their preseason workouts on ESPN and the NFL Network both, and following those teams, and they look like they're getting ready and prepared for the beginning of the season. So I'm really looking forward to the first game. That's going to be a classic game. That's going to say a lot about the Cleveland Browns, and it's going to say a lot about the Kansas City Chiefs, who are favored to win, to be in the Super Bowl by 30%. The analytics say 30% chance of being in the Super Bowl.
Well, I'll tell you, I knew and I know that my wife has lost a lot of love for me. She canceled the NFL Network.
Oh, no.
Man, I just, it's rough, man. I'm telling you.
Well, you know what that means. Adobe.
Being Adobe. That's right. She won't be happy about those bills. But, you know, we were talking the other day about the GOATs, about the greatest of all time players. And it's fantastic, but I don't think any of them, except maybe Muhammad Ali, are my favorites of all time. You're the one that came up with the word.
Yeah, FOATs.
You call them FOATs.
Yeah,
favorite
of all time. Yeah.
And growing up, Ernie Banks, I've done so much for Ernie Banks, but I loved Ernie Banks as a baseball player. Football, I'd go for Terry Bradshaw as my favorite. Maybe not the greatest I've ever seen, but it's not about the greatest I've ever seen. It's about your favorite.
Yeah.
And
you both have bald heads.
Basketball.
That explains a lot.
It might.
Yeah.
But basketball, I would probably go with Earl the Pearl Monroe because of my little brother. He loved Earl the Pearl. And
what about golf?
Golf, Lee Trevino.
Lee Trevino.
I loved him. I thought he was good for the sport. I thought he laughed and had a great time.
He won. Didn't he win the PGA championship?
He won 3. He won 3 out of the 4.
And in fact, this past week, a couple of weekends ago, the Abram Answer, another young man from Mexico, won a major tournament.
A kid from Mexico won a pro golf.
Yes.
Well, good for him.
We-
It's good to have the people from different countries and around the world winning things.
Well,
I remember when South Africa had they came over here. The guys from South Africa come over and play and did great, won the championships and stuff.
Oh, yeah, there's some great players nationwide, worldwide that come and play in the PGA tournament. Now, my favorite of all time in football probably isn't really a player. He's a coach. And my favorite of all time
It'd be Folk.
Folk.
Favorite of all.
Well, he'd be
coaches.
my favorite folk, and then I'll get to my favorite
Okay.
player. My folk is Tom Landry. I love Tom Landry. I love the man. I love the way his stature. I love that hat he wore at every game, every Cowboy game. And he was to me, well, to him, it was a business. It was the business of football. And I love the way he just handled himself and handled his players. Now, I grew up as a Cowboy fan, so I love the Cowboys. And so my favorite Cowboy was probably Dandy Don Meredith.
Yeah, fun man.
I loved him, his attitude, his behavior.
But he
had some awkward behaviors.
He had a good work ethic. He was not a bad quarterback. He was a pretty darn good quarterback. And I admired him. I admired him on TV a lot. I loved that first NFL Monday game of the week. I loved that. I mean, it was so big across the country and the world at places.
Yeah, I know we've talked about Howard Cosell and Dandy Don and all those guys.
Frank Gifford was the other one.
Frank Gifford was the other one. And Frank talked a little bit about Kathy Gifford on the Monday Night Football also. And we know how that is about talking about our wives.
Sure.
We hear about it.
Yes.
Sometimes. So anyway, but definitely Dandy Don Meredith, but there were some great Cowboy favorites of mine. Bob Hayes. He was a great
When I
receiver.
saw Bob Hayes that first time running, and it was probably Meredith threw the ball to him. I mean, he just threw the ball as far as he could. The guy caught the ball, went in for a touchdown, and I couldn't believe he started out one step in front of the guy immediately, and by the time it was done, he was like 6 or 7 steps, and the safety was just looking around like, what was that? What was that?
Yeah, and I don't think Bob Hayes, and I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure he played a lot of football. I think
before that. No,
I think he was a track star.
Right, he
and
was.
They saw
Fastest
his speed.
man in the world.
They saw his speed, and they said, "We're going to take this guy and make a football player out of him."
Which was brilliant.
And they did
for the Cowboys.
Yeah, Tech Graham, Tom Landry, those guys knew exactly what they were doing in building not just a team but a legacy.
Okay,
of the Cowboys.
Here's a sport I know you love so much. It's on TV all the time. Poker.
Poker, a sport?
That's what they call it. It's on ESPN. Probably as much as any one sport is on ESPN.
Well,
they have 2 weeks they play it every night.
Well, how can it be a sport? They don't exert any energy. They, I guess it's more of a mind game than it is a.
Well, I'm wondering where chess ranks on the greatest sports of all time.
I don't know about that, but poker. Who is your favorite poker player?
Doyle Brunson was my favorite poker player. He was the Texas Cowboy. They called him Dolly, and he had a professional basketball contract with the Minnesota team, and he broke his leg in a terrible accident at home, and he never was. He walks with a cane or a
limp.
A limp, or really bad. And he was fun to watch. I hope he's still alive. I haven't seen him in about a year or so I'm worried. But I love playing cards. I love playing poker especially. But if you're going to have poker, how come chess isn't a game? I mean, chess is a huge sport around the world that people play.
Yeah, I know that, and chess could be considered a sport, but
well, you got to put it as much as cornhole.
Who was the famous chess player.
Bobby Fischer for the
Bobby
United States.
Fischer, yeah. He was a great chess
And
player.
he was not a really nice guy.
No, he wasn't a
not
nice
real
guy,
happy guy.
but he was a great
Which
chess
hurt his
player.
sport. If he'd have been real happy and helped people out and stuff, and I'm sure he helped some people out, but he was very about me. And
Well, that's a problem in sports. Sometimes you get that.
roller
But what about?
skating.
But my favorite poker player was Daniel Negreanu.
Oh, Dan, he's still around, a young kid. He started out as the kid. He was like, he got in there when he was 18 years old.
Well, we all started out as a kid.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. But not playing poker.
Not playing poker, no. But yeah, I like Daniel. I like his attitude. I like his strategy.
I'd love to meet him sometime.
And, oh yeah, me too. I think that would be great. Wouldn't want to play poker with him.
No,
I might lose.
Yeah, your $2.
My $2 that I have set aside in my wallet.
He shows up at a game, no limit with $2. But yeah, that's okay.
But
we still take his $2. But I mean, it's not like
But you mentioned about poker, whether it's a sport or not. There are so many things out there that are. Are they really?
We talked about pickleball earlier this year.
Yeah, pickleball is a sport,
but it is a sport, I think. And I tell you something: you play pickleball, you exert yourself, and the good thing about it is, as a sport, they took tennis and badminton and racquetball, and they said, okay, how can we keep the fun part of the game, but make it to where older people can play? And that is pickleball completely. I mean, I've seen 75-year-old people out there playing and winning.
Against us.
Yes, against us. And I've seen women play and beat men against us. I mean, it is a great game. It is a fantastic game where you can participate in.
As a team or individually.
Exactly. And I've come to love the game, and I've got AFib right now, and I'm not able to play sports like I want to, and I have got to get back to playing pickleball and tennis. I have to. It's just driving me nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game. It's a great, good exercise for us people who are a little bit older. But it's a wonderful game.
I want to get a pickleball player to come on the show.
Well, we could do that.
Yeah.
Well, we are pickleball players, and we're on the show.
I want one of those guys that
you want a real pickleball player.
I want a guy that wins the tournaments.
You want a real
woman.
Pickleball.
I'm telling you, you laugh at the women, you're going, oh, yeah, women play it so hard. Let me tell you, it's played with a wiffle ball and paddle. This doesn't have strings. It's a solid paddle of some kind. The women hit the ball as hard as the men do most of the time. You're not allowed to serve the ball hard like tennis at 115 to 20 miles an hour. So the women the serve is not that hard, and they can hit the ball back, and they hit it well. They place it better than most guys can.
Yeah.
And they do really well. And I've had women beat me badly.
Yeah.
I mean, enough where I would look at my racket and go, what's wrong with you, man?
I've been cheering them on. Just to let you know.
I just go,
behind the scenes, I'm there going, go Karen, go.
Got to be. Well, I saw you fall into the net.
Hey, you're not supposed to bring up my bad attributes.
But Dwayne actually fell down one time on the concrete, which is played on concrete or course pretty much.
Park. There's blood markings there.
I mean, it was a terrible fall, terrible fall. And he's laying there. And they go, well, he's done for the day. I go, give him 5 minutes. He'll be back playing. I promise you.
It was just a little blood.
You stood up and you started playing again. And we won that match.
I wanted to play. That's right.
Yes, boys club way.
But pickleball is definitely a sport.
I think so.
But there are some sports out there.
Yes.
I know. We've mentioned this maybe before.
I want you to talk about that one that you
I will. We'll talk about that one that's coming up here. But let's talk about the American Cornhole League.
It's a hobby to me. It
used to be a game you played out on the farm.
Yeah, somebody made you a cheap Christmas present.
Yeah.
Grandpa's got you a present. It's a cornhole board. You're going to have some fun playing this game.
This playing bing bag toss was the precursor to the American Cornhole League.
Right.
And where in the world did they get the word cornhole?
It's not anything I want to talk about.
Well, I think it had to do with the way that the board is made.
And the bag was filled with corn
Yes,
sometimes
exactly.
instead of beans.
That's exactly what it was. It wasn't beans, it's corn.
Yeah.
It's a corn filled bag. But then we got
there are bean bags, by the way.
There are bean bags too. Yeah, I just wanted to, I know, don't do that to me. So we got a couple other things, sports that we want to talk about. And biking is one. Biking's a pretty good sport.
Biking is a way to get around. Swimming is a way to keep from dying. I mean, listen, swimming and high school, college wrestling are probably the two toughest coached sports in the world. The coaches have got to be rough and tough on you. It's a brutal game of endurance. It's a brutal game. And I love boxing. They said boxing was the best pure. This is Sports Illustrated said boxing is the best pure workout to get in shape. That when you go to a gym and you train the right way, jumping rope, hitting the heavy bag, hitting the speed bag, sparring, shadow boxing, I mean, you get in great shape.
Well, I remember at Hillcrest High School.
Yeah.
Being trying out for the wrestling team. I don't think I made the team. In fact, I know I didn't make the team, but I know you wrestled a little bit. We had the coach, Jerry Gregg, just a really great coach.
Great coach.
The man was
Coach Wolford.
Yeah, Shep Wolford, great man. Tough guys, and they were tough. They were tough to wrestle for.
First year they had wrestling in Hillcrest. The first match, they played 10 or 12 weight classes. I won the first match in wrestling for Hillcrest High School.
All right, that's great.
Yeah.
That's a proud moment in your life.
Well, because it was my last victory.
The first of a lifetime.
A guy got into my face and smacked me in the face, and I turned back and I smacked him back pretty hard.
That wasn't the coach, was it?
No. Coach Gregg might have done that.
Coach Gregg could have done that, yeah.
Coach Gregg came in. I hated geometry. I hated it so much. Once a week I would go down and I would go to the sick room and say, I got a bad headache. And I'd take geometry off.
Yeah.
And man, Coach came in there one time and go, "What's wrong with you, John?" I go, "Coach, I can't take geometry, man. I got in the wrong class. I should have been math 2.
Yeah, that'd been better for you. That'd probably been a little tough for you too, though.
Now one time when I got knocked down, to somebody go, 1, 2, pi into, what's the equation of pi?
Yeah, I do recall you telling one time a story about being in gym class at Hillcrest, and Coach Gregg was your PE teacher.
Right.
Y'all put together a big game of dodgeball, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And that was not a good place for Coach Gregg to be.
No. I aimed at the faces or the heads most of the time.
And
you weren't supposed to.
Did you take a little shot at Coach Gregg one time?
I threw the ball across the court. There was a guy in front of Coach. The guy moved. Coach got one right in the head. Oh,
I bet you felt really bad about that.
Well, I was running so fast. Coach Gregg was a great coach. We had Coach Vaughn, who I still love today. I think he's been pretty sick lately. I hope he's okay. Coach Birmingham was the first man to ever let me do comedy in front of people. And he wanted to do comedy with me as a partner when we had one of the reunions. And I thought, Coach, let me know when, we'll do it.
Coach Birmingham was very funny.
A very funny guy. One time I wrote a poem about him. I said, there once was a man named Birmingham who tried to call everyone Sam. He said that to Gist, now he talks with the lisp because his teeth were not clear to Siam. And Coach got up and walked. He says, I can't believe he did that. He walked out of the room and
Mm.
he went to the office and he told that poem online.
Ah, that
That's
another
how,
proud moment for
that's how
John
great.
Penny.
That's how great he was. I mean, but he caught a guy cheating one time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
The-
I had never seen him mad. And he just went off on this kid, and it was. I didn't hit him, didn't lay a hand on him. He just verbally said, "Son, you're never going anywhere if you keep doing this kind of stuff." And I was glad it was a guy in front of me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, really.
yeah, you know, because he was walking this way and he looked mad, and I go, "Oh, please, Lord, please, Lord."
Hey, you know, we forgot to mention our favorite golf player.
Oh,
I mean, you had a whole spectrum of Nicholas, Palmer.
I mentioned
yeah,
Trevino.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did. I didn't
tell
mention
me.
mine.
Yours, right.
Yeah, which is Palmer, Arnold Palmer, and
Yeah, that was my dad's favorite.
the army that he had of people who followed him.
He was like my
wherever
dad.
he
My
went.
dad would be walking around with that cigarette in his hand, throw that cigarette out of the way, hit the golf ball. He was a charismatic man who got on TV, and it was Arnie's Army.
Yeah,
You know,
a great bunch of people who followed him wherever he went. And he was from Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and just, I mean, he's such a wonderful character. Besides being just a great ball player,
when he would do the commercials for Penn State Oil, you believed he did that. It was Penn State Oil in his car. I loved him. I love so many athletes. What's your favorite basketball player?
Basketball player, I'm going to go with probably John Havlicek of the Celtics.
Great ball player. Great. I used to love a lot of the Knicks because the team motto was, hit the open man.
A lot of passing.
Nobody knows what that means anymore.
Yeah, I mean passing the ball around. They used to say pass it 3 or 4 times and
right,
then
you get a shot.
But yeah, I mean they had some great players. Walt Frazier.
They changed the rules against the players. Will Chamberlain, you couldn't dunk basketball for a while because of Will Chamberlain. Yeah. Jim Brown, they made him get up off the ground faster instead of just laying there and resting a couple of seconds. I mean, they had all these rules. Basketball, they got lots of rules they changed because of players.
Did you ever roller skate?
Man, I actually took skate lessons, dance lessons.
You took dance lessons?
Dance skate lessons. I never was any good at it, but I had a beautiful woman that taught me how to dance. She knew my dad, and he says, Johnny's a good athlete. He can learn how to skate. And he was wrong. I was not ever good at skating. I wish I could have played hockey. I think I'd have been pretty decent hockey, especially a goalie. My hands were very fast, ice hockey, and I would have loved to have played that game.
I've seen you on ice skates.
Have you seen? Oh, I'm
bad.
I got married on. It was roller skaters I got married on. Roller skates.
You got married on roller skates?
Yeah.
I was there at the wedding. I wasn't on roller skates.
No. Yeah, you were the best man. You were on roller skates.
I was on roller skates?
Yes. We all were on roller skates.
Okay. If you say
you don't remember
John,
my wedding.
I remember your wedding. Going around to all those fires trying to put them out.
I went to Dwayne's wedding, and we were downstairs at the reception, and Dwayne's mother-in-law, who does not particularly care for me, she said I walked cocky. I walked too.
Well, you do.
Yeah. Well,
that's the nature of being a boxer.
But
when you get hit below the belt,
I was standing. They had the coffee maker. It was a flat, one of those flat coffee makers where you put the pot on there and stuff and her mom said, "John, sit down," and I just sit down immediately. And I sat right on the coffee.
Right on the coffee pot. I remember that.
I'll tell you something. That pot was hot.
Yeah, it was hot, all right. And so was your butt. Well, my experience with roller skating was I can say with a certain amount of pride that when I went to Doling Park to roller skate, I went around the first time, and maybe with not so much pride, I fell down 13 times on the first trip
Going around
once.
once?
Just one time,
Were you
13
on
times.
crutches or anything? Or?
No, I was on these roller skates. I blame the skates.
Yeah, the skates are
The
there.
skates were the problem.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. I was fine, But I can't skate. I couldn't skate forward. I couldn't skate backward. But I was a wonderful skater on my hands and knees.
Man.
I was pretty bad. All right. I think I have watched my last sports program. I am tired of some sport. I mean, this sport has taken a toll on me.
Do you remember when ESPN first came out?
Yeah.
Here's college rugby.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, well, tough game, but man, they had games on there that you don't even see around anymore.
Oh no, well they've got one now. You ain't gonna believe this one.
I didn't watch TV last night, so.
The other day I was on ESPN2.
You were on ESPN2?
I wasn't on ESPN. I was on the TV channel ESPN2.
It was on your TV.
It was on my TV.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much for explaining that, Muffin. Anyway, I was watching ESPN2, and this sport came up. Get this, World Championship cow chip tossing.
Cow chip?
Cow chip tossing.
What's a cow chip?
A cow chip is something that the cows leave behind after they walk away.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. I mean, they had a number of competitors, both in the men's division.
How did the cows throw them?
Well, the cows didn't throw them, John. It was people, human beings who would pick up the cow chips and toss them.
Well, they're kind of damp at first.
Well, they are. So they let them dry.
They dry. Okay.
They have a competitor. They have a truck full of cow chips.
A truck full of, where does that go through the highway system? There's a truck full of cow chips here. How much do we charge them? A lot.
How would you like to be the highway patrolman that pulls that group over? That would not be a good day. But anyway,
we're taking this to the next political rally.
You're really, for the next.
So they throw them like a discus?
No, they actually take them in their hand and they overhand throw them as far as they can. And so this gentleman.
Well, what? Oh, I've never mind.
Can you imagine that? Taking a cow chip and throwing it as far as you can? This first man, just a young guy. He was just a young guy. And he took a cow chip, a dried up cow chip, and he had the referee measure it to make sure it was the right size. I could not.
His hand or the chip?
No, the chip. The chip could only be 6 inches wide. Don't ask me how, but they measured the chip.
Well, aerodynamically, we all know that a 6-inch cow chip will fly further.
Well, I guess so. So anyway, they took the cow chip, and he took it, and he ran towards the line, and he tossed it. By the time it got out of his hand, it broke into pieces and landed about 2 feet from a little, probably 4-year-old girl. I mean, it almost, the cow chip almost hit a fan.
Did she ask him to sign it?
No, she did not. But she ran over to the cow chip, what was left of it, picked it up, and presented it to her dad with such pride. I mean, I thought it was wonderful. But then
you're kidding here.
No, I'm not kidding. You can go back and watch it. 2021 National Cow Chip Toss Contest. Now, the winning toss was made by Cade Nicholson. His nickname, Thunderbolt. Cade Thunderbolt Nicholson.
At the cow chip contest.
In Big Beaver, Oklahoma. Put it on your calendar, folks. Yes. It'll be happening next year.
We'll be performing there next year.
We will. Probably not. I won't be performing. Maybe you could enter.
What was the Yeah, I could maybe I could be the intern from this radio station.
Yeah, you could be.
I've been known to throw things around.
Yeah, you're full of bull also. But anyway, the longest throw was 161 feet.
Wow.
And when that cow chip hit the ground, that crap went everywhere.
That's over 50 yards.
That's a long way. It's a long way. But it almost ruined my love of sports. And then the next program, sad, John. It's a sad program. The USA National Mullet Championship. I can not believe that people would do their hair.
Still wear mullets?
Mullets.
Except for the guy that does our radio. I don't know.
Does he have a mullet?
US Mullet Championship?
Yes.
Yes, you've got to watch that sometime. The USA Mullet Championship.
See,
And won by
and it's on ESPN.
ESPN2, the Ocho.
Oh,
I don't know what the Ocho is, but I
that's
know.
the eight.
I think it's
8. Ocho is 8.
Ocho is 8.
Yes.
What does that mean?
1, 2, 3,
Oh.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't you ever eat a Taco Bell?
I ate a Taco Bell the other day.
Did you go Ocho?
Oh, Joe. Oh, Joe. It was that burrito. Blame it on the burrito. I don't eat burritos at your house
No.
because they have a fragrance to them. But that's a whole nother show.
This is. You think this is bad?
Yeah.
Well, you say biking. Biking is an incredible sport. But the thing that gets me about biking is now, my friend David Schlink, he will bike all the way across the state. He's done Colorado with the hills and the mountains. I couldn't believe that. But he's done Iowa. He's done all these. Iowa's a yearly thing they do. But biking, if you get on that track, like an indoor track, how close those bikes are to even the outdoor ones, they get so close to each other. And if they have a wreck, it looks like, oh my Lord, that people falling down, breaking ankles, breaking their knees.
Blood everywhere.
I mean, it's all over the place. And they took the last one I saw took down 16 bikes went down. And I mean, people they had to stop competing because their bike is broken for one. They got to fix their bike up again. Man, I have a lot more respect for that. Now
I think biking is a really big sport. I've got a friend that's biking the Great Divide right now. He should be done in probably another couple of weeks, but it takes a long time to bike all the way from Montana all the way to the end of the Great Divide in Arizona, I believe. So he's got a big trip ahead of him, and all the weather factors in when you're on a bike like that, on a trip like that. But he's well prepared. But anyway, it's been a good deal today. I think we got to wrap it up here.
I had a lot of fun today. It was fun, and people ask me where I go out to eat coffee and everything.
Right.
If we're really close friends.
Right.
About as close as you can get.
Yep. That's
And
true.
and we disagree about stuff about sports and stuff. We really do. We really do a little more heated sometimes. But he's my buddy. And I think I'm his pal. And,
You are. You're definitely.
That's about all you need sometimes.
That's right. Hey, it's time to end your call.
Wait, what day is today?
The day is.
Yes, my call. Why do you got to think about it? It's my call today.
Why is it your call? Why is it always your call? You
It
always seem to
isn't.
get the call.
Did I not try to give him a call a little while ago? He didn't think he hasn't got the guts to take it.
Gut. You ought to know about guts.
Well,
It's
I'll high five behind yours.
Your call with John Penny